The story begins as we meet a boy named Light, as he says goodbye to his family, with his goal to become an adventurer so that he can make their lives easier. He goes to a guild, where the receptionist confirms that he's registering for the first time, so she gives him the lowest rank F. She asks him if he has any gifts, so he reveals he has the power of unlimited gacha, but she doesn't understand what it is. He pulls out a mechanism that chooses a random card for him, revealing that he can bring to life any item that it lands on, but he gets a bent fork. He tries it again, and ends up with only trash items, so he mentions that it's not usually like this, but the girl thinks she made the right decision to give him the F rank. He asks her if there are any jobs he can accept right away, so she tells him they're posted on the board. She notices him having a hard time reading, and she mentions that it isn't unusual since humans have a low literacy, so she tells him about a few of the easy jobs. He spends the whole day finishing the jobs, but he's disappointed since the money he earned will only allow him to buy a room for the night, so he hopes to get food from his gacha. He runs into a group of beast folk who knock him down, and it seems humans are looked down on in this world, as the leader complains that he got his clothes dirty, so he takes all of Light's money. He tries to ask for it back, but they kick him away and leave him on the ground. An elf named Sasha tries to help him, but he gets scared when he realizes he got her dirty, so she hugs him and calms him down. She introduces him to her party, and we see that they're all extremely high level. One of them, named Garu, notes that they're called the Concord of Tribes, revealing that their goal is to form a party that has all 9 races, and they wish to create a world without discrimination, telling Light to join them since they need a human, and he happily accepts. After that, they go to the longest and toughest dungeon called the Abyss, and as a monster is about to hit Light, one of the party members named Drago cuts it in half with his sword. Sasha takes another one out with her arrow, and she tells Light to be careful, because he will die if he gets hit by anything, so he apologizes to her. The rest of the party start teasing her, saying that she's always taking care of Light, which makes her embarrassed, and she mentions that if something happens to him, it will make people think that they can't protect their own comrades. Drago tells him he doesn't need to worry about anything, because he likes the tea that Light makes, so he's already doing enough for the party, which makes him happy. As they keep moving forward, all the party members suddenly stop, which makes Light think they're resting for a while, so he goes to make tea, but Drago tells him he's being banished from the party. He doesn't understand what's going on, so they note that they're kicking him out because he's useless. They start insulting him, and he doesn't understand why they were being so nice to him before if they hated him, so they reveal that their superiors were interested in his gift, because they thought he could be a master, but he has no clue what they're saying. He's confused why anyone would be interested in the useless gift that he has, so they note that they made a mistake in overhyping his abilities, which is why their superiors have ordered them to take care of him. Sasha is annoyed at how stupid he is, but she's glad that he isn't a master, because she can't bear the thought of marrying an inferior race just to get their blood. Drago thinks that they have told him too much, but Garu notes that it doesn't matter, because he won't be alive for much longer. He slashes Light's face with his claws, so he tries to get away, and they enjoy hearing him cry for help. Sasha shoots his leg, while Garu continues beating him up, so he yells in pain even more, but they tell Garu to stop, because they already agreed to make Light's death seem like he was attacked by monsters, so they shouldn't give him other injuries that contradict their story. Light tries to drag himself away from them, and he ends up activating a teleportation trap, so Drago tells Garu to make sure he doesn't escape, but before he can get to Light, he disappears in front of their eyes. Light realizes he was teleported to another part of the dungeon, and even though he's glad he managed to survive, he knows he will be killed the moment he runs into any monster. He thinks life isn't fair, because he never did anything wrong to deserve what's happening to him, and he still can't believe he was betrayed by the people he believed were his friends, but instead of crying over it, he vows to eliminate all of them. A level 1000 monster appears behind him, and he can't believe his eyes, because it's the kind of thing people only hear about in stories, and he realizes he was teleported to the deepest part of the abyss. As the monster is about to attack him, he thinks about how he can't afford to die there, because he won't be able to get revenge. He knows he has nothing to fight with other than his unlimited gacha, and as he tries to use it, he's surprised when a magic circle appears underneath him. He ends up summoning a maid named Maid, who easily tears the monster to pieces, and after that, she heals his injuries. She apologizes for touching him without his permission, saying she couldn't bear to see such a handsome face being scarred, and he's confused when she keeps calling him master. After she asks him for his name, she notes that under the code of a maid's honor, she pledges her loyalty to him and will serve him until her last breath. Light is confused by who she is, so after getting his permission to introduce herself, she reveals that she's a level 9999 maid, who's a super ultra rare card that he pulled using his unlimited gacha. He thinks it's impossible for that to happen, because his gift is basically worthless, so there's no way someone as amazing as her came out of it. She asks him to let her use her appraisal skill to check his gift, and he thinks it's her gift that she can appraise things, but she mentions that it's just one of her innate skills. She scans his body, and is surprised to see that most of his abilities are hidden under a layer of concealment, so anyone that isn't on her level wouldn't be able to see how amazing he is. She mentions that the card he pulls depends on the mana density around him, and even though mana is everywhere, its density is pretty low on the surface, so there would normally be no chance for him to pull her. But mana is abundant in the depths of the dungeon, which makes it easier to pull rare cards. She admires his bravery to come down to the deepest part of the abyss just to tap into the full potential of his gift, but he stops her from praising him even more since it wasn't his intention. He starts to cry and tells her what happened, and he can't believe the things they said to him, because all he wanted was to support his family. She hugs him to calm him down, and she notes that with her powers at his disposal, getting revenge is a simple task, so she tells him to give her an order, but he doesn't want her to do anything. He mentions that he was the one who put his trust in them and got betrayed, so he needs to get stronger and get revenge with his own hands. He wonders if she thinks he's just being delusional, but she assures him that she will help him do anything he wants, which makes him happy. After 3 years, we see Light walking in a castle, surrounded by an army of maids that he summoned, and as he praises them for their work, they all start losing their minds. May asks for his permission to shut all of them up, but he knows they're just smitten by him, so he doesn't mind it. They go to the city, where one of the citizens tells him they're running short on food, so he assures them he will tell the administrator to take care of it. He asks May what the members of the quartet are up to, so she notes that they're all trying to complete the missions they were assigned. She mentions a girl named Yuki is scouting the upper part of the abyss to make a map, and he knows the forests around the abyss are filled with monsters, but he doesn't think they will be a threat for a genius tamer like Yuki. He asks May about another girl named Ellie, and May tells him that she's working on creating the magic for his grand plan, so he hopes that she won't be overwhelmed since they have a lot of things in motion. He also wonders what another girl named Nazuna is up to, so May tells him she's on her normal job, which is to patrol the castle. As they go back to the castle, they see a man named Jack waiting, but May gets annoyed and tells him to address Light properly, but he doesn't mind it, since he sees Jack like his older brother. They go to the training room, and before they begin fighting, Light mentions that he will attack with everything he's got. He rushes in and punches Jack in the stomach, which pushes him back, and he mentions that if it were anyone else that was hit by the punch, they wouldn't have survived. Meanwhile, Nazuna runs into some other maids, who ask her if she's on her patrol, and she mentions it's an important job given to her by Light, so they start praising her, which makes her happy. They ask her which areas she will be patrolling next, but she hasn't decided, so they ask her to check out a spot for them, because they're prohibited from entering it. Nazuna goes to Light's bedroom, and as she knocks on it, she's surprised to see May coming out. She wonders what Nazuna is doing there, and she notes that she was just patrolling the area, but May tells her to go somewhere else because the bedroom is safe. She asks May what she was doing while Light is away training with Jack, so she mentions it's against her code as a maid to do nothing, even when her master isn't with her, so she was cleaning the room, but as Nazuna goes inside, she notices that the bed seems like someone just rolled around in it, so May notes that it's her unique bed-making style. Nazuna wants to know more about it, but May refuses to tell her anything, saying it's a trade secret, which impresses her, while May is glad that she isn't that bright. Nazuna gives May a message from the other maids, and as she starts reading them, May realizes they're all cursing her for not letting them into the bedroom. May tells Nazuna she doesn't need to worry about it, saying that as the head maid, she will talk to the others, and she gives Nazuna a few coins for doing her job, which makes her happy, and she tells May to ask her if she needs help with anything. Nazuna uses the money to buy snacks, and as she returns to the castle, she runs into Yuki. Nizuna wonders what she's doing there, because she's supposed to be scouting the forest around the abyss, but instead of saying anything, she keeps meowing like a cat, so Nizuna notes that she can't understand her like Light. She wonders if Yuki is asking her for help in cutting down the trees in the forest, but she notes that there will be nothing to scout if there are no trees. Nizuna asks her if she ran into a strong monster, and she mentions that even though Yuki was summoned before her, she's still stronger and looks older, so Yuki shouldn't hesitate to depend on her. Yuki ends up speaking since Nizuna has no clue what she's trying to say, and she notes that she already completed the map, so she came back to deliver it. Nizuna pats her back and calls her a weirdo, saying she should have just said that from the beginning, and after that, she goes back on her patrol. Nizuna goes to Light's throne, and she starts hugging it because she's sad that she hasn't seen him all day, but she ends up breaking a piece, so she puts it back and runs away. In the training room, Light and Jack decide to call it a day, and they go to the bathhouse, where Jack mentions that only a few people in the dungeon can match up to Light, which means there are even fewer such people on the surface, but it doesn't mean there's no one who can defeat him. Light knows that there are a lot of unknown things in the world, so he won't let his guard down, because he needs to see his revenge to the end. Meanwhile, Maid summons the 4 maids who complained about her through Nizuna, and she asks them if they know why they're in trouble, but they act like they have no idea what she's talking about, so Maid reminds them about the messages they sent for her. They apologize to her, and she tells them to explain themselves, so they note that they know how busy she is, so they were just trying to help her, but she tells them that the worst part was that instead of saying everything to her face, they used Nizuna to get their feelings across. She rejects all their demands, and as a punishment, she assigns them to clean the hallways leading to the throne room with their hands. They think it's impossible, but she tells them she will be going to the surface in the near future to complete a mission, so she hopes they will finish their jobs without causing any problems. We see Nizuna looking at a weapon in the city, hoping she can get her hands on it, but Ellie notices her and wonders if she's looking for candy. Nizuna asks her what she's doing there, because she's usually too busy to do anything, so she mentions that everything is going so smoothly that she had enough time to come back. She calls Nizuna a dimwit, which annoys her, so to prove that she isn't an idiot, she tells Ellie she knows all the math tables, but she can't even get the first one right. They start arguing with each other, so Ellie mentions that Light made her an important part of his grand plan, while Nizuna was just asked to patrol the castle. She notes that she even had tea with him to discuss their progress, and she plans to book them a private room the next time they meet. Nizuna gets jealous, saying she also wants to have tea with him, but Ellie is confused that that's the only part she's jealous about. She tells Ellie that since she's good at magic and bad at close combat fighting, she should ask for her help whenever she needs it. Meanwhile, the 4 maids are annoyed at why they got in trouble, because they think it isn't wrong to complain against Maid's management style, but they know they can do nothing about it. They really want the opportunity to clean Light's room, but they don't understand why Maid doesn't let them do it, even though she's always busy. They know Maid was Light's first summon, and it took 3 months for Yuki to be summoned as the second maid, which means Maid had 3 months alone with him. They start losing their mind thinking about how lucky she is, and they think that if they try hard enough, they might be able to turn their rage into a curse that will get rid of Maid, but she suddenly walks into the room. She tells them to explain what they were doing, but they have nothing to justify their actions, so they just tell her that they're all loyal to her. She reveals that in the 3 months she was with Light, he only studied books and practiced martial arts, so they had no time to do any of the things they're imagining, which puts them at ease. She mentions that she came there because she was feeling bad for being too harsh on them, but she realizes they haven't had enough, so she tells them to clean the throne room as well. As they start the cleaning, they realize they won't be able to finish it even if they work all night, and one of them breaks off the piece of the throne that Nizuna broke earlier. Meanwhile, as Nizuna gets ready to sleep, she's still disappointed that she didn't see Light, and she wishes he would give her the permission to go to the surface and beat up everyone. The next day, Light sees Nizuna and Ellie arguing, but Nizuna gets excited after seeing him and wonders if he came to see her. He starts petting Yuki, which makes the others jealous, but he notes that he can't help himself from treating her like a cat. A level 1000 hellhound appears in front of them, and it still scares Light a little, since it was the first monster he faced, so the rest of them get angry at it, and they think they should eliminate all the hellhounds, which scares the monster, but Light tells them to calm down. They wonder why he summoned them, so he mentions he got word from May, and it's time to put his plan into action. On the surface, we see Garu being praised by the beast folk, and as he notices a human, he knocks him to the ground and spits on his face. He goes to a bar, where he tells his followers to eat whatever they like, and they feel honored to sit with him, because he went from an orphan to being their future leader. He mentions it wasn't easy, saying they need to be able to find different ways to use the skill that every beast folk is born with, but they think his skill is a cut above them. He notes that it's all in the smell, because he uses his nose to find out which jobs are easy, and those are the only quests he accepts. They ask him about the Concord of Tribes, and even though he can't tell them anything about it, he remembers how easy it was, because all he had to do was eliminate a weak human. It bothered him that they never found Light's body, but he thinks Light would never be able to survive the dungeon, and even though he's interested in finding out more about what Master is, he knows that looking into it will only get him into trouble. May suddenly interrupts Garu and reveals that she's Light's maid, which surprises him. She notes that she's been searching for Light for quite some time, which makes him wonder if she knows something about what they did to him, so she reveals that Light is of noble descent, but Garu refuses to believe her. She mentions she can't tell him about the specifics, and even though he thinks she's lying, he knows that if there's an off chance she's telling the truth, he can get a lot of money from her. She notes that after looking for Light, she found out that he joined a party, but she also heard rumors that he died in the dungeon. Garu asks her what she needs from him, so she tells him to escort her to the place where Light passed away, and she shows him the money she's prepared to pay him, which shocks everyone. He thinks she's leading him into a trap, but he doesn't care, because even if she tries anything, he can take care of her easily. He agrees to help her, saying he's the future leader of the wolf tribe, so he will get his best men to escort her, and he notes that even if she didn't offer any money, he would have still helped her because Light was like a brother to him. As they go to the dungeon, Garu thinks about how he will make sure May reaches her goal, but he will ravish her body on top of Light's grave. As they reach their destination, Garu mentions that when they were attacked by monsters, Light ended up hitting a teleportation trap, so they never saw him again. He tells his men to cover the exit, and he thinks about how stupid humans are, because they believe whatever he says. She notes that she feels bad for Light, because if she had started serving him a little earlier, he wouldn't have had to suffer being kicked and shot with arrows. Garu is shocked to hear what she's saying, because the only people who know what really happened are the Concord members, and a few elite executives, so he asks her who she is. He wonders if she was sent by another tribe to spy on him, which makes her annoyed, and she notes that her loyalty only belongs to Light. As she gets ready to attack him, Garu can't believe he's feeling fear from a human, and he thinks he's about to die, but Light suddenly arrives and tells her to stop. Garu can't believe what he's seeing, and Light mentions that he's come to get revenge for what happened 3 years ago, but Garu laughs, because he thinks a level 15 human has no chance against a level 150. He tells Light he made a mistake showing himself, because after he kills him and takes back his body, nothing will stop him from becoming the king of the beast folk. Light is surprised, because he thought Garu would have had questions about how he survived, or his relationship with May, but Garu doesn't care, because he thinks that 2 humans can't do anything against a pack of beast folk. 2 of them rush toward Light, but May cuts off their heads, so he thanks her and tells her to guard the exit. They all start to panic, so Garu calms them down, saying inferiors like humans can only beat them with cheap tricks, but Light tells him to start considering the fact that he might be the one who's inferior. Garu tells him to stop spouting nonsense, and he shows his level to Light so he can understand the difference between them, but he gets annoyed seeing the look in Light's eyes. He asks Garu to explain why an inferior human was able to eliminate 2 of the beast folk, so he notes that Light must have used a magic item. They all rush toward him, but he blows all of them away, and Garu refuses to believe Light is better than him, so he summons a level 500 monster. He tells Light to beg for his life just like he did 3 years ago, but he's disappointed and decides to let Garu hit him, saying he won't move an inch from his spot. The monster shoots a huge energy attack from its mouth, but they're all shocked to see that it didn't even scratch him. He summons a level 9000 monster of his own, which freezes Garu's monster with just its breath and shatters it into pieces. Light reveals that his level is 9999, which shocks Garu, but he thinks Light is an imposter, since he looks the same as he did 3 years ago, so he reveals he's wearing a bracelet of youth that stops him from aging, and the reason he wears it is to remind himself of the pain he suffered. Garou realizes there's nothing he can do, so he starts to beg, saying he was only following orders, and he never wanted to hurt him. Light tells him to reveal everything he knows about what Master is, but he doesn't know anything. He asks his followers the same question, and they try to act like they know everything, but Maid knows they're lying, so she tears them to shreds. Light asks Garou what he thinks will happen if he declares war on the surface, and he warns Garou against lying, because Maid has a skill that lets her see if someone is telling the truth. Garou gets so scared that he pees his pants, and he mentions that no matter how strong Light is, he won't be able to win on his own, but Light already knows he can't do everything by himself. He teleports them to his throne room, and Garou can't believe his eyes when he sees the army that Light has gathered. Light tells everyone to show their stats, and he once again asks Garou if he thinks they can win against the surface, but he's too shocked to say anything. He realizes that they were the ones who turned Light into a monster that can destroy the world in an instant, and he asks Light if he plans to become a god. He notes that the world is hiding the truth from him, saying he will either bless them or drown them in despair using his gift, so everything depends on the answer that he finds. We see Light going back to his village, and he finds that it was destroyed while he was away, but they never found the bodies of his brother or sister, so he holds on to the hope that they could still be alive. His knight Gold asks him if he's ready to go since he doesn't want to camp there, but the assassin Nemu thinks he's being insensitive, and they argue about their loyalty to Light, so he calms them down. He mentions that while they have the forces to take on the world, they shouldn't rush into a war, and thinks they should first find out more about the strength of the other nations. He also wants to find out what being a master means, because it's what led to his village being destroyed, but Gold warns him to keep his bloodlust in check while they're in town, because the people won't be able to stand his aura. We see Light wearing a mask, and we learn he's going by the name Dark while he's on the surface, so that the Concord members don't recognize him. They fly to the city of Datas, where Light plans to level up as an adventurer first, but they decide to land and walk, so they don't draw too much attention, but Nemu thinks Gold already stands out too much. They come across a carriage being attacked by dwarves, but Gold is instantly noticed, so they quickly deal with them. The man Colonel and his son let them ride in their carriage, and they wonder if they're famous adventurers, so Light mentions they're just starting out and trying to rank up. Colonel thinks Datas is a good place for it, because it has a good dungeon that attracts a lot of people, and he reveals that he runs an inn there. Light and the others get off at the gate, and Nemu reminds Gold to keep a low profile. They head to the guild, but Nemu gets mad when Light is given the lowest rank F, so she demands for him to be made S rank, but the receptionist notes that there's nothing she can do about it, and Light apologizes for the outburst and accepts it. Nemu cries over making Light apologize, but he tells her it's fine, and they head over to Colonel's inn. Colonel tells him not to hesitate if they need anything, so Light asks to rent out the entire top floor for a month. He uses silencing and anti-surveillance magic on the floor, telling Nemu and Gold they can relax. Even though Nemu knows how strong Light is, she thinks there's still a risk for him coming to the surface, so she wonders why he doesn't just issue orders from the abyss, but everything starts to shake as he wonders if she's trying to get in the way of his revenge. Gold lightens the mood, praising Light for wanting to get revenge with his own hands, and Light apologizes for getting carried away, knowing that Nemu was just concerned for him, and she asks to renew her vow of loyalty. We see her kissing his foot in an act of submission, but Gold just wonders if she's a pervert. After that, they head to the dungeon, but notice there are no elves, so Light mentions the dispute between the dwarves and the elves over the ownership of the dungeon. There are 3 hooded people that cut the line, and Light can tell the leader is strong. The kids in front wonder if they should say something, but Light calls them out anyway. The leader can't believe a human is talking to him like that, so he prepares to teach Light a lesson, but his companion stops him, thinking they shouldn't make a scene, so they head to the back of the line, but they tell him it's not over. Everyone praises Light for speaking up, and the kids apologize for not saying anything, but he tells them it's fine. They wonder if Gold's armor is really made of gold, but Nemu reveals that it's just paint, since gold is too soft as a metal to be made into armor. The kids wonder if it's their first time in the dungeon, and Light wonders how they can tell, so they mention that the levels in the dungeon are larger than normal, so most people bring supplies to camp inside overnight. They eventually get into the dungeon, and they wonder what they'll find inside, since they've never been to a different dungeon before. Nimue detects no one else nearby, so Light uses his cards to let them fly and find the next floor as soon as possible. Meanwhile, we see the elf Kaido from earlier as he slaughters a group of orcs, still angry that he was disrespected by Light, revealing that he was the youngest person to be accepted into the White Knights, the strongest force of the Elven Kingdom, and he has the blood of a master. His companion Yanagi tries to calm him down, telling him they need to get to the 3rd floor, but he thinks he was looked down on because of his level, revealing that he's capped at 1500. He thinks he should be stronger since he has the blood of a master, so Yanagi promises to help him using his research, but Kaido plans to get rid of him after he has served his purpose. After defeating trolls on the 3rd floor, Light orders the others to collect the magic stones so that they have proof that they made it there. They start making their way out, but they see the kids from earlier fighting against goblins. The kids take them out, but Light suddenly appears, and they see that he's stopped a snake from attacking their mage, so they thank him once again. Nimue senses an enemy approaching, and there's a pack of wolves that suddenly come out of the forest, so the kids start running, but the wolves just pass right by them, so they realize there was something else, and a giant Scythe mantis appears. But that's where this video ends. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more of this series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.